and they have siblings, and it's, you know, a Latino daughter and a Latino son. Typically, the Latino son gets a lot of love from the mom, right? So my mom is like that. Ella me consiente, ella, papito, ¿qué quiere? ¿Quiere
El
chocolatico?
consentido.
Oh, sí, sí, sí. Yo soy re consentido y yo me dejo. You know, like I'm never going to say no to that, obviously.
He's spoiled.
I'm super spoiled. Super spoiled.
Does your sister get the same amount
No.
of love?
Absolutely not.
That is also...
We talk about that. That's a difficult conversation.
I only have one other sister.
Oh, dude.
So, like, it's two girls, you know. So, none of that was happening in my household.
Okay, good.
But my grandma is the same way to my uncle to this day, you know. And that is very, like, machista in a way.
Is.
We don't have to get into it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, she invested in the stock, right? So, like, it's just the fruits of her labor are now growing. My dad, too. I mean, my dad, he, again, from working in architecture, proceeds to then work multiple part-time jobs, you know, working, flipping burgers, delivering newspaper, like things that are very outside of whatever he was dreaming of. But something that my dad also always said, he's like, he would say, you know, telling the story to me now that I'm older, is, esto lo que hay que hacer ahorita. This is what we need to do right now. Pero yo no me voy a quedar acá. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to stay here. And I've used that a lot in my life as well. So, again, he was flipping burgers from being in an office. That's really demoralizing to anybody. Again.
Absolutely. I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand. And I'm so glad that we're doing this in English. Mm-hmm. Because earlier you said, you know, immigrants are not coming here to take your jobs. They're coming here to do the jobs that you don't want to do. And that's true. And part of something that I'm very passionate about is not staying there. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, yeah, immigrants can come and do the jobs you don't want to do. But my hope for, like, Latino immigrants is that we don't stay there. Is that we come. It's like, you know, you don't know the next Latino man that you see flipping a burger. You don't know if he, like, what he could do for a building, you know, because your dad was an architect. It's like you have no idea the talent and the intellect inside of this person who right now is flipping burgers. And I think that's what breaks my heart about our community, that we get so undermined as, like, the gardeners, the people cleaning floors, which is all, again, like, decent jobs to have, and you're providing for your family. But you have the talent, the skill, and the education. My hope for them is for us to find a way for them to exploit that here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. It's sometimes it's frustrating to see that. And, you know, I've met a lot of people with prestigious careers in their countries, doctors, lawyers, engineers, and then they come here because the credentials aren't that easy to transfer. You know, they have to take a lot of blue collar jobs, like you said, like gardening, janitors, restaurant jobs. I would say, though, and I really admire the people that get out of that. And I agree. I think the messaging for immigrants that maybe in this present moment have to be in a blue collar job, they have to work an hourly salary or work, you know, by the hour, that's what you just need to do right now. But that this is not your final destination. You can work yourself out of this because you're an immigrant, you're resilient, and that's something that, listen, I'm a testament to that. My family is a testament to that. And we look back and would never disrespect somebody that has those jobs. Like you said, it's very honorable. But I would encourage people to always look towards the next big thing.
Absolutely. And I also just have to say that it sounds like your family has, like, some really good and strong mantras.
Oh, big time. We're really big into mantras, clearly.
I know, I love it. There's some that I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna replay this a few times.
Yeah.
Being a high achieving Latino, the higher you climb in the corporate ladder, the less Hispanics and Latinos you see in a room. And I see the same thing. And I think it reflects in like all phases of your life, you know, friendships and all of that. It's like you see less people that look like you interact with less people that look like you. So it really is like a domino effect. Now that you're in these leadership positions and you're a mentor to younger kids, what would you say to them about that? And what's also some advice that you wish you had heard when you were younger?
Yeah, I love that question. And this is something that I'm personally really passionate about. So for me, back to when I was in college and I was in this program, before that program, I would have never imagined to be in the position that I'm in now, both in a leadership director position, leadership on a board, public speaking, and having a voice. I would have never, until I joined that program, and that program exposed me to other Latinos that were also VPs and directors and even some CEOs are in the C-suite. I was like, wow, these people are in the rooms that decisions are being made. If they can do it, so can I. And I remember, I'll never forget, one of the sessions we had, there was this, I just remember the governor at the time was Chris Christie. Then there was the lieutenant governor, and then there was the person under them. He was Latino. And he was giving a speech, and the ending of his speech stuck with me forever. He said, it's super important for us to reach for the stars and become, these people in these high achieving roles. But more than anything, it's actually more important for us to reach and rise. Reach and then rise. So the reaching was like, whoever you see that needs a pull to be able to bring them up, reach out for them, but never stop rising. So it's like this continuing motion, and you're rising, but you want to bring your people with you, because that's what other communities are doing. They also rise, but you see them be successful because they're very close knitted in the community. And so reach and rise was something that stuck with me. And then the second thing he said was, being Hispanic is actually a responsibility. So when he said that, I'm like,
in what way? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it really stuck with me. He said it like that. He's like, being Hispanic is a privilege, and we all agreed, everyone clapped, but it's also a responsibility. And what he meant by that was, you or me or myself may actually be the only Latino that certain people interact with.
That's crazy to think about.
It's crazy to think about, maybe in New Jersey, but I personally experienced that. Living in Kentucky, living in Indiana, living in like other states where I had to work. And I was quite literally the first Latino that these people ever met.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But now, hopefully, they walked away with a very positive impression of the Latino people. They're like, Fox News, they're telling me that these people are coming in caravans and taking all of our jobs. But Nick, Valentina, yeah, they're cool. I actually really like that. I like them, right? So it's a responsibility in the sense, jokes aside, it's a responsibility because you are going to plant the seed of the impression on other people, and we need to make sure that it's a positive seed.
Absolutely. I think that goes with everything. Yeah, that goes with everything. Like, you shouldn't respect somebody because they're a CEO. You should respect somebody because they're a person.
Exactly.
I think that's something that our culture does very well for the most part. I would say.
for the most part, we have sometimes you tell me. I think in Colombia, from what I've heard, it's a lot more clasista. So people don't mingle among classes as much as here. Would you say
Yes, I would agree with that. You know, that's something that I have a hard time with, even like explaining to other people, like explaining the concept of una grilla. That's the first thing that comes to mind, because
Really?
I remember one time I was trying to explain it to a friend, and they were just kind of like, what the hell? You sound like a horrible person, you know? And I was like, no, but if you were Colombian, you would get it. Right. And I'm not going to go ahead and explain it. If you get it, you get it. But I feel like that's some part of like my Colombian identity that I have a hard time rationalizing and understanding it outside of that context, to be honest. But I understand what you're saying. Like, I think we can be very respectful and also very classist. I think those two things are true.
We get the best of both worlds, you think?
Sure.